Welcome to Naillennial. Thank you so much for being here. Today we're recreating this Korean-inspired, long, rounded nail trend. Glossy, soft but structured, and very dimensional. I'm breaking down the full process from removal to final shine, so you can confidently try this look yourself. Let's get into it. This video is a part of my 500 subscriber celebration. I ran a poll here on my channel, and you all chose Korean-inspired nails, so that's exactly what we're doing. While planning this set, I pulled inspiration from a few of my favorite creators. I was studying this ultra glossy finish, the clear, structured tips, the brightness, the delicate details, cat eye glow, and that long, soft, rounded shape that just feels elevated and effortless. I tried to pick a few techniques that I thought would be very transferable between beginner to expert. I hope you enjoy. Before we get into the new set, we need to remove the previous set. If you like this design, I do have it linked here and it'll be in the description. Jumping right in. Well, wait, why are we already wrapped in foil? Rewind. Before we soak in acetone, we need to file off that top layer of gel. If you don't break that seal, the acetone can't properly penetrate the product and removal takes way longer than it needs to be. So first step is to e-file off this shiny top coat, and if you want to go deeper into safe BIAB or hard gel removal, I've got a full dedicated tutorial. I'll link it here and in the description so that you can follow along at your own pace. Now that we've been wrapped for a bit, I'm going to gently start pushing off the softened top layer of gel using a cuticle pusher. If the product feels difficult to remove or you notice yourself needing to apply pressure, go ahead and rewrap the nail and allow it to soak just a little bit longer. You never want to force the product off the nail. Since I'll be reapplying rubber base, I don't need to necessarily completely strip everything immediately. I'm really focusing on removing the majority of the lifted product while continuously checking each nail and gently scraping instead of digging. Once most of the product has been removed, I'm going in with my e-file and a sanding band to softly refine the surface and remove any remaining residue. My natural nails have been growing out, and I do have a full series documenting my nail growth journey using builder gel and hard gel. If you're interested in that process, I'll have that linked for you. After removal, I like to closely examine the nails and note any areas of redness. For me, this is usually just sensitivity from the removal process. Since I have naturally very thin nails, I just make sure to stay extra gentle. Next, I'm applying Protein Nail Dehydrator, followed by a Protein Nail Primer, making sure to cover the entire natural nail and allowing each layer to fully dry in between applications. Now grabbing my base coat and my rubber base. The base coat will be applied directly to the natural nail first to help the rubber base or BIAB adhere properly. Apply one thin layer, even layer of base coat to all the nails and cure for a full 60 seconds. Then grab your BIAB or builder in a bottle and apply a very thin slip layer. This step is optional, but I like to keep it extremely thin because I like the rubber base, even though I know I'm applying tips, because since I have thin nails, I feel like this helps give my natural nail a bit more structure. And then when it comes time to removal, I have that protective layer of rubber base underneath. So the rubber base part is completely optional, dependent on how your natural nail is and what your preference is. I'll continue to apply a thin layer on each nail and then do a full 60-second cure. And now that the base is cured, I'm going to measure and size out my soft gel tips. I want to make sure that it fits sidewall to sidewall, but also leaving a small gap between the soft gel tip and my cuticle. We'll blend that out later so that it looks like a beautiful seamless transition. Okay, now I'm going to apply a base coat first all over the BIAB, and then I'm going to cure this for 60 seconds. This ensures the soft gel tip adheres properly. Be sure to clean up any gel that gets on your skin before curing. And then next I grab my nail glue. We're going to apply a thin layer along the entire tip where my nail is going to sit, and then add a small dollop at the free edge. Gently press the tip into place so that the glue spreads evenly. Flash cure, and then repeat on all remaining nails. A quick tip is if you drag once you do your dollop of glue here, and then whenever you get ready to place it on your nail, drag a little bit at the tip, like this, and then press down at an angle, and that's kind of like a slip layer, and it just helps the glue flow seamlessly or smoothly all the way to the free edge. Give it a try if you notice yourself having air bubbles, or when you press the tip down, it doesn't go evenly across the entire nail. Maybe give that a go and see if that helps. So I like to go ahead and add a clear top coat on the underside of the nail. It just keeps the tip looking clean and polished. This is optional and not necessary, but I do think it helps the nail look a little more complete. After curing the entire hand, I'm going to shape the tips. I'm going to start by clipping the ends and kind of rounding out the edges so they fit the long rounded style. Now I switch to my E-file with a carbide bit on a low speed to blend the soft gel tip into the natural nail for a seamless transition. I hold the bit parallel to the nail and lightly work over the tip to avoid cutting into the natural nail. For extra smoothing, I switched to a sanding bit to refine the surface, and I'll go over the entire nail with the same bit to create grip for the polish application as well. If you found this video interesting so far, please stop and give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate your feedback and your support. Switching to my cuticle bit to smooth the cuticle area and remove any dead skin. I never take this into the natural nail, it's just to make the cuticle look neat and clean. Now this part might be a little overkill, however, I am going to grab my buffing block and continue to buff out the entire nail just to make sure that it's completely smooth and most of the shine is removed. Go ahead and dust everything off. You could also use alcohol and a lint-free wipe as well. And now we're ready for another thin layer of base coat. I've done this process before where I had like a soft gel tip and then I put BIAB right over the top of that without a base coat, and a few days later the whole top, like the whole BIAB was like peeling off of the nail. So that's the reason that I always do base coat from now on. It just helps it to stick and last longer. For this application, I'm applying a light slip layer of rubber base since I'm not trying to build too much height. I'm focusing on getting close to the cuticle to fill the gap and to create a nice apex. I'm using my detail brush to pull the product slightly towards the free edge and cuticle so that the layer looks seamless. Once everything is applied, I do a full hand cure and then I wipe away the tacky layer with alcohol and a lint-free wipe. Once that tacky layer is gone, let's grab our buffing block and continue to smooth everything out again. I do this pretty quickly, but this step is optional if you did a really smooth layer beforehand. But because my nails are so flat, I really try to minimize the product towards the cuticle just to help any amount of apex that I don't have in the first place. And then once you're done with that, let's spritz with alcohol and wipe away the debris. So here we are. I went ahead and buffed them a little bit and spritzed them with alcohol to wipe away any dust. And the first thing I'm going to do, grab my Pet Pat gels. I'm looking for these to go with the Pat Pat gels because the first thing that we want to do is I want to blur out this free edge line. And I'm going to use Pat Pat gels for that because they are super pigmented. A little goes a long way, and I do find them like easy to control. So I'm gonna grab my sponge here. Whoops. If you're feeling extra good, or you want to take the extra time, grab some tape and stick the sponge to the tape so it can pull off any debris. But like I don't know, hair, fuzzies, things like that. But not today. So I'm grabbing a few tools. The color that I wanna do is not quite white, I want it to be a little off-white and maybe more, skin tone colored, so I'm gonna grab a little bit of white, some pink. I definitely need and maybe some brown? I honestly don't know, I just kinda do things until it, like, looks right. I did go to cosmetology school where you kind of learn about, like, the colors and the color wheel and what happens when you mix what together, but if we're if we're being honest with each other, you guys, that was, I graduated in 2010, so just a few years ago, not really forever ago, but so I don't really know that I remember all that stuff, but there is some science behind it. And to me, this looks good. It's like it is more of a blush, so I think I might add a little bit more white. And I just start like kind of in the middle, almost making a line across the nail, and it just kind of vanishes. And I will come back to that. I want to lay the product down first and then start to actually blend it out. I'm going to pull it down so it is blending into the rest of my nail. I feel like when I am looking at this length and shape of the nail, when I'm kind of looking for inspiration for Korean nail art or Korean nail, it is very thin. It doesn't really get too bulky with a whole bunch of layers of polish, where some gel polish can be really thick. And that's another reason why I really love Pat Pat gels or patting gels, I think is what they're also called, because as you saw, like, a little bit goes a long way, and, it hardly changed the depth of my nail, but it is adding the color that I want. So, I think that if you haven't tried these yet, definitely maybe give them a go. I would suggest, there's nude palettes, so if you're not into too much color, but having a color range, I got this one off of TikTok Shop, but you can get them in lots of places. AliExpress, Shein, Amazon has them. I do like
pigmented colors, because as you see, like, you can use those as you learn more about color theory to mix up the shade that you want in custom shades. So I suggest like a bright color, and then you saw here I have my basic white, black, and 2 different shades of brown. This one, Sweetie Nail Supply. I'm going to bring it towards the tip as well and just kind of shear that out, because I don't want, like, here you see how there's that harsh line. I I know I don't want that, so I'm just gonna bring it down towards the tip. I don't mind it. It did blend and do its job, but I still see a little bit going on there, so I'm gonna go ahead and cure this, and then I'm gonna come in with a second layer, really focusing it there on the center, and just really patting down where the free edge is living to cover up that line. I feel like that's a little bit better for me. There is still a little bit of like a line of demarcation, so I'll just kind of drag that down a smidge, because I don't want to blend it out so much so that I'm like back to where I just was with having the harsh line show again. So I still haven't picked up more product. It's really, really pigmented. Korean nails is building a really good base, and it doing lots of layers of product, because that's what ends up giving it the very clean look, without being too bulky or too pigmented. I get really heavy handed if I'm not careful and I add too much product. I make my lines way too thick. Like I said, just heavy handed. But I feel like with these type of nails, less really is more. And so I'm going to go ahead and cure this, and then we'll come back for some more. So I think I'm going to be doing cat eye next after this. Um, and I'll show you where I got the inspiration from. It was like called barcode nails. I'll post it so that you can see. Um, she used several different cat eye polishes. Use some of these. I don't know which one though. That is pretty. Sometimes I have trouble figuring out like what colors go together. So when I just wing stuff, it doesn't turn out so well. I have to kind of plan or have an idea. Otherwise, it's going to turn out not so good. Something else that I got recently is some stronger magnets. So I got these off of Amazon, and we need this, and we also need, I do like my ombre brush. I like these types of brushes. You could see it's got like thinner, it thins out as it has some short bristles and some long bristles. So it's really good for like blending out. Um, I'm gonna stir this up. And then do what we did earlier and just kind of fan that out a little bit. Pull out some of the product. So we're like blurring, so the line isn't so harsh. We're just blurring that out a little bit. And activate the particles first so that they're visible. Like I can definitely see them now. There we go. You guys see that super beautiful bright line? Okay, so let's move on and do the same process on the rest of the nails. I'm just gonna stick with 2 stripes because, like, ultimately, this is just to lay down something pretty on the ends, and the rest of the nail will have like its own design. I've got some gems and rhinestones. So I'm just gonna lay a line down these 2 nails. Kind of reminds me of bangle nails, or at least painting it on. That trend was so fun, but it was like it took a long time. I guess nails in general just take a long time. Been doing this forever. I started the tips yesterday and got them on because it took um I knew it was gonna take a while because I was removing previous product. Okay. So let me just pick up a little bit more product in the center to give me some more to work with. Hmm. Wonder if I need to do it this way to see it better. Paint on a little bit more. Hmm, yeah, I think that works. Lash cure. Just keeping in mind we're going to be feathering out a lot of it. So, also, if anyone tries this, I would love to hear how it went. I'm on TikTok, Lemon8, Instagram, and Facebook. If you want to connect, I would love to see your pictures. Even if you don't try this, if there's been anything in the past of mine that you've tried, or some suggestions, or I mean, any type of communication, I am all ears. Okay, this definitely went faster. Bam. Oh, yeah. I don't know if I can tell a difference in the color though. I keep using 2 different pots. One is like this very hint of like a purpley, and the other one is more bronzy, but I don't know if it's worth it to like be going back and forth. It's almost like when I put the magnet down and then I tilt it slowly and then slide it back and forth is when it makes the line really well. Don't worry about how it's kind of I mean, it looks kind of weird. The lines look amazing, but, like, the extra product that we've been fanning out, it looks kind of funny, but don't worry about that. We'll be doing, something to blend all that in a little bit. So here's what we got so far. I'm gonna finish up the oops, keep bumping that. I'm gonna finish up these 2, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I did finish up the thumb. I'm gonna go ahead and grab some rubber base or a clear like builder in a bottle. That's how we're going to fix kind of some of the unevenness in the polish. And I'm gonna do 1 layer over all of the nails to seal them up, and then we're going to buff it smooth, and then the base will pretty much be done. Fuzzinest brand is one of my favorite nail polish brands. This is their clear rubber base. It's like crystal clear. I have a little bit of glitter. I don't know if the camera's gonna pick it up, but I was cleaning up a bit and I think I got some like leftover glitter from something. I don't even know what to be honest, but nails are a little sparkly. But yeah, the back to this brand, it's like it seems to be affordable and really quality product. So I'll definitely link this one. Um, in the description box if you are looking for a good rubber base. They have a blue bottle one that is a colored under reach it. This one, and it's got a really pretty like natural cool tone nude to it, and it's also one of my favorites. I do have a video where I have a video that is more detail like in depth about applying rubber base and builder in a bottle and whatnot. So I'll link that in case you're interested. But yeah, those are my 2. I'm gonna finish these up off camera. I'll be right back. So I'm just finishing up, and I wanted to mention the reason I'm using like builder versus just a top coat, for example, because the consistency of a builder gel is going to be thicker, which is kind of what we're needing because we want to help level out the product or the surface. Sorry, because the product that was used kind of created like uneven surface. So it's almost like encapsulating where once you get it on, if you apply enough, it will give it a minute and it'll self level and um, make the surface smooth. Okay, I cured all of that. And now I'm going to wipe away the inhibition layer. But getting to the point, um, glass nail in a sense that like actual glass, like literal glass, where we're going to paint a mat and then we're going to put little stripies in it with a clear top coat and it looks kind of cool. And I was thinking we could do that on the tips since the other idea didn't work out. One thing I want to mention too is when you are applying the rubber base, you definitely want it to be thick enough because we knew, or at least this is what I do. I like to go back in and buff my product so that it's smooth and you want to make sure there's enough product on there so that as you're like leveling it out, it doesn't actually take off your polish that you just painted underneath. I'm gonna grab my cuticle bit because I want to go around this area just to make sure that there's no product overlapping and then also just to level it out as well at the cuticle area. I'm doing this very lightly. I'm hardly putting on any pressure because the tool is doing all the work for me. Oops. And this is just gonna further blend that line into your cuticle so it looks more natural. If you have one of those mini sanding bands, that would also be something you could do if you don't want to use or don't have a cuticle bit. The mini sanding bands get closer. Okay, grab your file and let's just reshape up any part of your nail. Just gonna brush away any product that's left over from filing it, get underneath my nails, all that dust out. Matte top coat. So I'm gonna focus this on my tip because that's where I want the line. I'm gonna have the lines stop around there because I think we're gonna make those like the star of the show, and then I'll add some bling or some little things on the rest of the like this part of the nail. I'm gonna flash cure the thumb because I usually always do that because I'm afraid I'll either bump it or touch it or something, or because you hold your hand on the side, all the product will move to one side. So I usually flash cure my thumb and then do the rest of my nails and then stick the whole thing under the light for 60 seconds. Sorry, clearly I cannot like do this and paint at the same time. Maybe that's why I also like voiceovers. I don't know if anyone else actually a lot of people have this problem, so probably you too, where your actual real nail is crooked, and so if you put on your tip one way, like looking at it maybe like this, and you put it on, but when you turn your hand, it looks crooked, or vice versa. If you put your tip on this way, and then when you hold it out, you have like a wonky nail. I have that as well. So what I do is I just put the tip on the way I like to look at it. Um, which is usually out. I don't know why, but I do. I prefer to have the nails more straight like that than versus when I have them in like this. I'm not caring too much about where the matte top coat is going because I do really think that I'm going to be covering this part up with some gems or something. I'm going to grab my favorite top coat. This one is super shiny. Put a blob on my palette, and I'm grabbing the smallest brush that I have because I think it looks best if these lines are super, super thin. Oops. I wish this was like a little bit longer because you can see it kind of skipped some spots. Try to go over the same spot again. Okay. I'm gonna cure as I go. So I don't even know if I'm gonna do this for all of my nails because it's gonna take forever. Okay, that's one. I think I'm gonna do the rest of the nails and I will be right back. Okay, so I was doing the rest of the nails like I said I was going to, but I was like, oh my gosh, okay, the ends look kind of plain. And I don't really want to get, a massive gem or something like this and stick it on the end. That would be too much. So I might just about mess up the nails. We're going to find out. I'm going to try some silver just on the tip with chrome. And I'm using my finger. I'm not doing any specific rhyme or reason. I just wanted it to be a little bit on the tip. This could be a really bad idea, and we did it together. Or it could be cute, or it could make no difference. I have no idea. But I think I like it. So let's get a little bit more. This one, I don't want to take it all the way down, I don't think, because I do really like um sorry, I need to get spun down. Yeah. I do like what we were doing with. See, again, I can't, talk to you guys and do something at the same time. I do like what we have going on, but I think it's kind of cute adding that on the end and then also that silver. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do pink anymore because that's what I wanted, but just the lines that I chose are more golden, definitely. This one is kind of a light color, but the brown is very apparent. I just think that kind of clashes. However, because I have the silver, I'm hoping if I add just regular gems like this, then it kind of ties it all together. I don't know. And we may put some chrome down here too. I don't know. But I just wanted to do that with you to see how it turned out. Okay. Now I'll be right back. I'm going to finish the rest of the nails. Literally couldn't help myself. If we don't like it, we just wipe it off with alcohol and we're right as rain. I don't know if it goes together, if it works, but it works for us. Or no, I think we're gonna keep it because I do have this, which is like the one that's on my nails now, and that would go a little bit better with brown. No, we're gonna keep it with the silver, and we're gonna use some gems to balance it out. So, right, I'm gonna grab a base coat and seal all of this in so we can move on. I'm gonna put a lot on there because I have a lot of nail. Top coat works. Base coat though, or foundation gel is just gonna give your next layer some, a bit more adhesion. Whereas a top coat usually turns most top coats are like no wipe top coat, so there's not any tacky layer for the next layer. It's meant as a final layer, so that's why I like to use a base coat for sealing or foundation gel for sealing chrome. Lash cure the thumb. And then just remember if you do use this, this is still going to be tacky even if we do a full cure. So don't touch anything fuzzy because been there, done that. I am in the Midwest, and we've been having, like, fake spring right now. It's been so cold for, the past couple of weeks, but, like, today, tomorrow, and I think Monday, it's supposed to be really nice, so I have children, and we're gonna go to, our town built a new skate park right before the winter, and it's pretty sweet. Like, it's got a lot of space and a bunch of really cool things for the kids to use, so we're gonna go there tomorrow, and they're super excited. And then Monday, doesn't I don't know if anyone has kiddos or family members or yourself, you're interested in classical music. My, um, older child is. He plans to go for performing arts, and he's got a musical competition on Monday, and I'm off work, so after that, because it's in the morning, we're just gonna hang around in Chicago and hit up some thrift stores. So, like, I am super excited for Monday. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and cure this for 60 seconds. Okay, so we've got that part done. I went ahead and grabbed some of my stickers. I have a ton because in one of my recent hauls, stickers came with a package that I bought. So we're gonna, I don't know, do you want gold? Oops, fuzzy. Dang it. Thought I had more silver stuff. I'm trying to figure out a way to blend. Oops, to blend since I am coming up with this, I'm like, "Oh, this pinky looks so wonky because it's, like, really thick right there," but it's okay. Um, I'm coming up with this on the fly, and so I didn't plan too well. I could also just take rhinestones and do, like, a little rhinestone thing or some borders or some squigglies. These are what I was looking for. There's more of these. I also thought for some weird reason, I kinda wanna take one just from top to bottom of my nail. I don't think I have enough though to do each hand. Like, wouldn't that be kind of cute? Ooh, that would be cute to go this way since it's like the opposite. But this is all that I have, and I definitely don't think this is gonna fill up. This will be like 3.5 fingers. So I don't know what I'm doing, but I know one idea. So we're gonna do that and see where it takes us. I want to get this and put it like right in the center. You gonna get it in the center? Okay. It's still wobbly, so that's good. Excuse the noises. And so I'm gonna push those down. I'm gonna do that on as many. Oh, how many circles do I even have? Should have counted that mostly. Let's see. Oh my gosh, where did it go? Here it is. One, two, three, four. Oh, we have enough. So let's do that in all of our nails. And then we're gonna take um a rhinestone that's smaller than that. I think because I have the base coat on, it's like slipping and sliding a little bit, which is nice. We're gonna put a rhinestone smack dab in the center, so it's like a ring and then a rhinestone. I thought that'd be kind of cute. I don't know. We'll find out. Charlie. I have a doggo who's I don't you actually you might not be able to hear her on the mic, but if you can, she's like low barking. She hears something outside. She's probably 70 pounds and literally the biggest scaredy dog ever. She gets scared so much. When she barks, it sounds scary, but she's barking because like she's scared. It's the funniest thing. She'll bark from like standing behind me. And again, she's pretty massive. She's pretty buff. Why don't you try? Well, bless you. Oh my gosh. Please come off. Okay, before rhinestones, let's do more dots. Oops. Oh, I scratched it. Okay, well, if you do that, don't push too hard. I don't think I'm gonna have enough dots. Or at least enough. Oops, no, I scratched it. Enough of the same size dots. Oops. Which way do you go? I don't know which is. Oh, here's the sticky side. Okay, so I have this tendency again whenever I don't plan my nails or I don't have like an image right in front of me to look at to work off of um, for inspiration, I just kind of keep adding stuff. And then at some point, I'm like, oh my gosh, that was too much. I shouldn't have added that. And we might be getting close to that. However, I think that I'm going to keep going. I do see these little stripy things, and I think those would be kind of cute if I do them in between the open space that's here of the um, cat eye lines. Because why not? We're just gonna do it. And then after that, we're done. We're gonna put on a few rhinestones and we're gonna call it a day because we've been doing this for hours. Well, I've been doing this for hours. You probably close to it if you're still watching at this point. Let's add some of these bad boys, a few rhinestones, and then we're done. We're stopping. We're done. So I went with the dots because that obviously matches better with the theme that's kind of going on. So let's add these. And then we're going to do one up here. Going to use the smaller one underneath. Oh, I was doing my thumb. Kind of feel like at this point I should have top coat my nails when I like decided to go this route because they're still sticky. Like I can't push on it too hard because the base coat is very sticky. I thought I was just gonna put like a layer of something like polish and be done, or like rhinestones be done. So I decided to go with some of these colored rhinestones because of the gold in the lines, the cat eye we did earlier, just to kind of tie it all together a little bit better. Um, this is just like rhinestone glue. And put on a good amount and then drop one of these in the center. Thought it was going to stand out a little bit more, but it does not. So maybe I'll just move those down to the sides instead. Maybe I'll put some in the center right here as well. Add some glue on either side and then pop those smaller ones next to them. Oops, too far. Okay, they're all on. I'm going to do, oops, fuzzy. I'm going to do a last top coat on all the nails. I did the tips already. It's just right here. It looks like when I put the glue on, it kind of like dribbled down, so it's not a smooth surface. So I'm just going to put a little bit of a top coat on so that again it levels out everything. That looks okay. I think that's it.